What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Home Field Podcast. So in this video today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the Patriots. As most of you know, I'm a diehard Patriot fan. I've been a Patriot fan for really as long as I can remember. I've really just enjoyed the success that the Patriots have had over the last 20 years with Brady and Belichick. But to say that this season has been a struggle is an understatement. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a deep dive into the issues that are really plaguing the Patriots here. And then at the end of the video, we'll address all the issues and then we'll see if they can maybe turn it around and try to salvage their season somewhat by the end of the year. So with all that said, let's get to it. Really the issues that I've seen, there have been many, but the main issue is the offense not executing. So they've been sputtering for the last few weeks. The last 3 games, they've only scored 25 points. They scored 10 points against the Chiefs, 12 points against the Broncos, and then they had their worst performance of the year against the 49ers last week when they only scored 3 points as a team. To put it bluntly, that's just awful. And they, of all people, know it. And then, in large part, Cam has not played well the last couple weeks either. So far this season, Cam only has 7 total touchdowns. He has 5 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, but he has 7 interceptions on the season. His quarterback rating is only 71, and his QBR rating is 42.5, which is currently 29th in the league. Now, to be fair to Cam, he started the season off fine against Miami and Seattle, but since then he has struggled mightily over the last 3 games. And the game against the 49ers was arguably one of the worst games of his career. He only threw for 98 yards, and he had 3 interceptions. His QBR rating in that game was 3.5. It's just not going to get it done. And when the offense only puts up 3 points against the 49ers, it's at home on top of it, you're just not going to be able to get it done. Not only that, the Patriots have been turning the ball over far too frequently this year. So through 6 games this year, the Patriots already have 14 turnovers. If you compare that to last year, they only had 15 turnovers the entire season. And in large part, that's one of the reasons why the Patriots have been so good over the last 15 to 20 years, is because they've been great at protecting the football. Usually the Pats are a top 5 to top 10 team in turnover differential, but this year that is just not the case. Right now they're currently in the bottom half of the league in turnover differential, and this is despite the fact that the Patriots defense is currently tied for 3rd in the league with 12 takeaways. So the defense is getting the ball back to the offense. It's just the offense is not taking that ball and getting it into the end zone and converting it into points. And then really kind of the final point with the Patriots offense are the wide receivers and the tight ends. They haven't helped Cam out at all. The receivers can't get separation from their defenders, and the tight end position, Lord have mercy, the tight end position. All right, I'm going to be nice here. They've been non-existent ever since Gronk left New England. And I know they've put some draft capital to address that need at that position, but they have not stepped up in any significant way whatsoever. And when the receivers and the tight ends aren't stepping up and they're not getting separation off their defenders, you're asking Cam to throw the ball in really tight spaces. And to be honest with you, Cam has really never been known to be a super accurate passer. There have been a couple seasons where he's averaged over a 60% completion rating, this year being one of them, but it's not correlating into points. And the offense is really struggling to just generate any sort of consistency to put points on the board. Now, if I'm going to be honest here, just looking at how Julian Edelman has played over the last couple weeks, it looks like he's ready to retire. If he were to retire after this season, I wouldn't blame him. This team is not moving in the right direction, and I don't even know if it's worth it for him to keep putting his body out there on the line every single game for a team that's just playing subpar football. Now, the only bright spot for the Patriots offense so far has been the run game. Currently, they're 4th in the league when rushing the ball because they're averaging 155 yards per game. But it's not enough. You know, you can have Rex Burkhead, James White, and Damian Harris try to get a three-pronged attack as far as the running game goes, but Cam has to be able to step up and make some plays either with his legs or to pass the ball. And he really hasn't been able to do both on a consistent basis throughout the entirety of the season. So most of the responsibility I put on the offense for the Patriots' lack of success this year. And I think in large part, the way that the offense has been playing, it's had a detrimental effect on the defense as well. The defense has been shaky. Now, I understand that they're missing some players like Dante Hightower, who is the captain of the defense, and Patrick Chung in the secondary. But they just gave up 33 points to the 49ers last week, and they got absolutely run over by a fourth-string running back in Jeff Wilson Jr. He had like 20 carries, 120 yards, and had 3 touchdowns in that game. And this is a fourth-string running back. I don't know what that morning meeting was like a couple of days ago when the Patriots went back to look at the game film. I guarantee you that defense got chewed out just in the fact that they couldn't stop the run game. Now, it really wouldn't surprise me if either the offense gets shaken up by a trade or the defense gets shaken up by a trade. I think if I had to say as far as trade rumors go, I think it's going to affect the defense a little bit more because there have been some rumors circulating around Stephon Gilmore. If I remember right, there were rumors that New England could have shipped him out before the beginning of the season, but they didn't end up doing that, and he's still on the team. But there is still a realistic chance that he could be traded either this season or after this season is over. So with all that said, where did the Pats go from here? I mean, first things first, the offense has to get it together. They have to limit the amount of turnovers and pray to God that the Patriots wideouts can get some separation. I'll start with Cam. Cam's got to get it together because if he doesn't, not only is his job as a starter at risk, his career as a quarterback in this league may be in jeopardy. He has no job security at this point. He's on a 1-year deal with $1 million base salary. And if he continues to play this poorly, the Pats are probably going to move on from him. And it really wouldn't surprise me if the Patriots go out and draft a quarterback or two in the upcoming draft. Because if Cam's going to keep playing like this, there's no way in hell that they're going to keep him. Now, I would love for Cam to stay. I think Cam is probably the most athletic quarterback that the Patriots have ever had. But he's just not executing well enough to keep the Patriots in playoff contention at this point. And as far as playoff contention goes, they have to beat Buffalo on Sunday. If they don't beat Buffalo on Sunday, they go to 2-5. And I think at that point, season's over. I mean, at that point, they're halfway through the season. And if you're in a 2-5 hole, I just think that's too big of a hole to dig themselves out of. And you could pretty much wrap up the season at that point. If they win against Buffalo, it does stabilize them a little bit, just because at that point it's better to be 3-4 than it is 2-5. But like I said before, if they lose this game against Buffalo on Sunday, it's over. So this is a do or die game for the Patriots, and their season is basically riding on this game. So the Patriots are in they're in real trouble here. And if they're not able to correct these issues, especially on the offensive side of the ball and maybe tweak some things on the defense, they're going to end up with probably a top 10 draft pick if they keep playing this way. They'll be lucky to win 5 or 6 games moving forward. Now, they have a chance to figure this out, but right now it does not look good. And it is a far cry from what the Patriots are normally accustomed to and the fans have been accustomed to. So they definitely have their work cut out for them. So